On questions 22 through 26, you're going to determine whether the statements are always true, sometimes true, or never true. So sometimes this is a little bit harder than true and false, because with true and false, if you can think of one time where something doesn't work, you just put false. So on this one, you're going to have to think about, is it, if it's not, if you can think of one time it's not true, then that could either be sometimes true or never true, if you can think of no times when it is true. So hopefully that made sense. Let's look. Number 22, the end center of a right triangle is on the triangle. So remember, the end center is where the angle bisectors intersect, and angle bisectors are always inside triangles, so where they intersect is always going to be inside. So since this says on the triangle, that's going to be never true, because an end center is always inside the triangle. It doesn't matter what type of triangle it is, it's always inside. Number 23, the circumcenter of a scalene triangle is in the interior of the triangle. Now the circumcenter is the one that sometimes is inside, sometimes is on, and sometimes is outside. But it has nothing to do with whether it is equilateral or isosceles or scalene. It has to do with the angle measures. So when the triangle is an acute triangle, the circumcenter is always inside. So some scalene triangles are going to be acute, but they don't have to be. You can have scalene right triangles, you can have scalene obtuse triangles. So this is going to be one that is sometimes true. If it was a scalene right, it would be on the triangle. If it was a scalene obtuse, it would be outside. So circumcenter is not always going to be inside. Sometimes true, sorry. Number 24. The circumcenter of an obtuse triangle is located outside of the triangle. Okay, so circumcenter is the one that can sometimes be outside, and that is every time you have an obtuse triangle. So this one is always true. Every single obtuse triangle will have its circumcenter outside the triangle. Number 25, the perpendicular bisectors intersect at the end center. Now this one's a little bit tricky, because remember I've taught you how you can look at the vowel versus consonant beginning sound of each word to help you remember the name of the intersection point. Meaning angle bisector starts with an A, which is a vowel, and it intersects at the end center, which starts with I, which is a vowel. And perpendicular bisector starts with a P, which is a consonant, and they intersect at the circumcenter, which starts with a C, which is a consonant. But this one's tricky because perpendicular bisectors, the naming is called the circumcenter. But when you have an equilateral triangle, the perpendicular bisector and the angle bisector are the exact same segment for all three angles. So where the perpendicular bisectors intersect is also the end center, because it's where the angle bisectors are intersecting as well. So I'm actually going to put for this one sometimes true. The perpendicular bisector will intersect at the end center if you have an equilateral triangle only. All the other times it will not intersect at the end center. It'll intersect at the circumcenter. And it's still intersecting at the circumcenter. It's just the circumcenter and the end center are the exact same point for an equilateral triangle. All right, number 26. A point on the angle bisector is equidistant from the sides of the angle, and that is always true. That's one of our conjectures from this topic. Every single point on an angle bisector is the same distance from both sides of the angle. And so that is always true. So you're really going to have to know the terminology from topic 1 and your properties really, really well. Okay, only say always true if there's not ever a time when it's not. And only use never true if there's never a time that it is true. If you can think of one time where it's true but all the others are not true, then you want to put sometimes true.